Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another Challenger Spectate. Now today we are focusing in on Graves. So Graves has been around-ish here or there the last, I'd say, year or so in the meta. But with like the big rise recently in a lot of the kind of tankier, engaging, running junglers, I think Graves did get hit a little bit. Like, you know, he's a non-CC jungler, comparing him to the likes of when Udyr and Hecarim and hell, even Skarner with the new item synergy. I think Graves did kind of went, you know, he went to the side a little bit. And Graves has been a very good, what I would call challenger tier jungler for the last couple years. But obviously patch notes happen, and with patch notes do come changes. And this matchup, I liked this one because there's an Udyr on the enemy team. But Udyr has been toned down, the items have been toned down, so let's see how this game goes. There's also some just strong picks in general in this game. So Poppy, I think, has actually been underrated this whole season. I think she's actually very good. Sylas on the enemy team is rising in popularity because people are noticing Sylas is crazy at the moment. Akali is still always pretty damn good, and obviously this Akali is even going Ignite, not even Flash. Then Jinx arguably is the best AD carry right now, and Rel has been nerfed quite heavily, but is still around. And then the enemy team has got Kai'Sa, that obviously in the first couple months of the season, she was the AD carry to play. And they've got a Lulu, who, worth also noting, has been nerfed this patch because of, well, I've seen some interesting kind of comments about like the nerfs to the support items. So the Moon Stone and River Water Staff, whatever, that combo has both been nerfed quite heavily, and a lot of people, which I would maybe agree with, I don't know, it seems that those nerfs are only happening because of two champions, because the other champions, I'm not, you know, those champions, Soraka, Sona, they don't feel that strong with it, they feel fine. It's two champions that have just been a little bit too much. Seraphine, because even Seraphine's building the support way in mid, but she's obviously building it in the bottom lane, but also Yuumi. Yuumi obviously has always been a little bit of a problem with those two items as well. So they have been toned down, so we'll have to see how Lulu does. And some people are worried that the toning down of those two items have not just helped nerf Seraphine and Yuumi, it's also potentially ruined the other supporty supports. So we'll see how that goes. But obviously, we're focusing on Graves today, not really mentioning too crazy much, because obviously he's just jungle clearing. The big thing just to notice is this thing down here. See this 8 stacks? He's got currently a bonus of 48 armor, and yes, that is correct. With Graves' E, he can get 48 armor at even level 1, because he's got rank 1 of it, and he gains 6 armor per stacks. And what you'll see really good Graves' do, as you'll notice, he'll, as much as he can, try to continue. You can see that nearly timed out there. He E'd to refresh it, so then it didn't time out. He's maintaining it for as long as possible. And right now, the Udyr's going to try and fight the Graves. He gets it early. Graves could fight this Udyr. Graves has, in essence, a bonus 50 armor right now. Udyr goes aggressive, which is questionable. Jinx is not going to get away because she already blew her summoners. Rel then going aggressive onto the Lulu. Akali teleporting down and Galio down. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell it's a challenger level game when you have 4 people in bot lane at 3 minutes into the game. Graves, by the way, has still maintained his 48 armor. He's never dropped it, so he's insanely tanky. He's going to go for the flash. Enemy team going down. Galio might go down, but I don't think that's going to be it because Graves used flash. Obviously running Phase Rush, by the way, having that increased mobility. And overall, a 2 for 2. 4 people bot lane at 3 minutes into the game. Absolutely crazy. Obviously Udyr, worth knowing before that even gank, they both had even farm. So Udyr is a very, very fast jungle clearer still. It's just, I think partially the tankiness got hurt a little bit. Because, you know, it's the way that a lot of people hate tanks in League. I personally don't. I actually like when it's tank meta, but I prefer when it's balanced tank meta. Tanks, in my mind, shouldn't really do damage. But what has been the problem, I'd say, this season, is tanks have been dealing crazy damage, as well as being insanely tanky. Tanks shouldn't do damage. Meanwhile, top lane, Udyr goes for a gank, but Poppy suicides, I think, into the tower to avoid the Udyr getting anything. And now there potentially is going to be a fight for this top scuttle grab. But Graves doesn't have his stacks. No armor stacks at the moment, but no Udyr either. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen Udyr because he was top lane, so where's he gone? And Graves will get, in essence, a double scuttle. So that's nice by him. Good XP there. And as we've always mentioned, why jungling seems to be relatively unhealthy, and in Riot it just isn't fixing the core problem. They just keep going, let's put Darius into the jungle, that'll fix it. Nope. You need, again, it's the combination of it's harder nowadays to be catching up XP than ever before. Sorry if you hear outside noise. It's harder to catch up XP than ever before because Riot got rid of catch-up XP, but then also introduced neutral camps that give decent XP. So only one jungler can get the neutral camp, but then the other jungler cannot catch back up. Because for me, I've said it for a while, and obviously, sorry if I keep repeating the point, to me it's really obvious how to fix the jungle. If you want to keep the neutral camps like Scuttle, you have to have some form of catch-up XP. That to me is obvious, but I don't know. Anyway, Sylas stealing Poppy ultimate, gets rid of the Poppy, but doesn't get rid of the Graves, but Sylas is a crazy champion. As you can see, he's out healing completely, and Graves is dead. And I'm going to be honest, that Graves I just don't think expected to get absolutely murdered instantly by a Sylas. Like that right there is Sylas 101. He's level 6 and can do that much damage, but also heal that much. But he's not a problem, apparently. Again, in the patch notes, no nerf, nothing. Maybe next patch we'll see a nerf. I don't know. But unfortunately, the Graves goes top, and that opens up Dragon because, oh, the jungler is top and he died. I'm Udyr. I'm going to do the Dragon. Well, any jungler at that point would do the Dragon. Because, again, maybe, let me know what you guys think. Do you think objectives are too easy to kill nowadays? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my old feeling, but the old Dragons a couple years ago, before Elemental, it was an event. Dragon was a team event that you had to group for to do the Dragon, or that's at least what my memory was. Nowadays, a jungler at level 3 can kill the Dragon. Hell, in PB testing that people have done with the new Darius jungle, Darius could literally just wait at the Dragon pit at level 1, and obviously Dragon doesn't spawn straight away, it spawns like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes into the game. Darius at level 1 can kill the Dragon. Level 1, by himself. What? Like, why is it that easy to kill a major objective? I don't know. Meanwhile, Rel goes down. So bot lane not going too hot. 0-1 Jinx and 0-2 Rel. Graves scouting out, though, the enemy's vision. And now he's going for a gank. A bit of an ambitious one. Lulu heals. And this is, I'd say, the major problem. I like Graves, but in the jungle, which obviously is where he's supposed to be nowadays, obviously he's got no actual big CC. So he can't lock people down. They're trying their best to get the kills. A lot of summoners are coming out, and Graves now in a 2v1 situation does go down because the Jinx couldn't, on that health, she had to back away. Good flash by Lulu to get rid of the Jinx rocket potential kill, and there we go. So yeah, bot lane not going good. Right now, you might be like, Huzz, why are we watching this Graves? So I've always said to you guys, I like to point things out. Educational, right? And a big thing in League of Legends, I think we'd all mainly agree, is the community is very, how do you say it? Not the strongest mental. That if you have a bad early game, a lot of solo queue players are like, this game's over, let's go next. A lot. And I'm not saying that you can never surrender or, whatever it may be. But if you've got something positive, meanwhile Udyr doing that, and trying to steal it with his W, which would have been ambitious. Can he smite it? Oh, the steal, he just autoed it. Oh, that poor Udyr. That's huge. Udyr should have stopped doing it. Genuinely, he should have stopped doing damage to it. And now this is a great opportunity to Graves to go top lane. Can he get this kill? He might be able to capitalize huge on a kill here. Because it's not just killing the side. Look at the healing. He does go down, but that healing is insane. Now they'll push it and use Rift Herald straight away. Again, bad play by Sylas. Should have seen instantly the enemy team has stolen Rift Herald. Run. Like, get out the way. Leave. But he didn't. So now what they'll do, they'll kill a couple of tower plates, probably one more. So wait for the next tower plate to fall. Then he should probably use the Rift Herald. Any second. So again, there it is. And then instantly, there you go. So that's kind of the optimal way of using Rift Herald. Galio, of all people, though, is coming top lane. And why? Graves is tanking tower. Nearly dead. That is the optimal way to kill it to get the most plates. They might have wanted to take top lane there, but Galio obviously comes to the rescue to stop that being taken. And obviously worth knowing, mid lane Akali, 3-1. To me, it's crazy that, you're against a Galio. Galio's known for stopping mobility with his taunt. He's the anti-assassin/mage champion. And has that much confidence to not go flash. Like, that to me is mind-boggling. And just to mention that this game is a challenger level game. I was actually originally going to watch the Akali because I was interested in the Ignite, but then I saw this Graves. I was like, ooh, Graves is actually also what I want to watch. They're actually trying to steal the red, by the way. 1v1 right now, I'm not sure if the Graves would actually do that well versus the Udyr. Udyr trying to get onto the same side, but doesn't. Nice play by Graves. Flashing, though, which forces the Graves to flash, and he will survive in the end. But you can see the Graves right now cannot fight the Udyr. Why? Well, and Silas, that's the top laner, remember? So Rel's doing her best. Lovely play by Rel, actually. And Graves, oh, look at the confidence. Really good confidence. He's so, like, close to death, but is just playing well in positioning and will survive. That is really good, but they have been pushed away. Yes, they actually got a kill. You know, that's an advantage, but you've been pushed completely away. That means your tower's in danger, and Udyr, you know, might be able to steal a bunch of farm. He don't think he got the red buff, but he might rotate to go steal that if he's confident enough. And yeah, Udyr's kind of stopping them get back to the tower. So what I'd expect... Wow, look at this. I don't know who it is, but enemy team's even teleporting. So they want to do a big play on bot lane. It's Galio. Oof. Again, and there's another teleport. So Rel got a W, but goes down instantly. So there's Poppy. Going to go for the Udyr. Lovely kill. Oh, unfortunately, Kai'Sa goes down. Graves is making his way back. Akali's teleported in. Galio ulting actually will get away. Teleport also by Silas. Challenger games just sometimes, let's say, hit different. This is 11 minutes into the game, and technically this has been a 5v5 bot lane. Yep. Again, it's just the best players, you know, that they know these type of big fights can make or break your game. Graves actually rotating back in. Enemy team actually could be in trouble here. Miss W by Poppy, but the damage is coming in. They're re-engaging. Graves off to the side, going to be dealing a lot of damage. Can he actually finish people off? He's got his phase rush. He's got 1 kill. He's got 2 kills. Can they go for the Kai'Sa? Poppy actually did cancel a passive, but then managed to get it off. But that should open up the dragon for them. So what a crazy fight. Oh, Udyr's back! What the hell? He actually might be in trouble here, the Udyr. Can Graves get away? He will. Lovely E by Poppy, and will get the kill on the Udyr. Little bit of a overconfidence play by Udyr, but admittingly, it was close. Gale Force, by the way, purchased for Graves. Why Gale Force? Probably because, you know, in theory, wouldn't Kraken Slayer do better in this game, kinda, or Shield Bow to give you more survivability? Yes. But Gale Force is fantastic against, like, an Udyr, who, you know, is all about running at you. Gale Force can be the difference of you know, positioning, just getting away a little bit more. Graves will have his E and Gale Force to get away from Udyr, and he won't die. That's huge. Because arguably, if the Udyr does get on top of the Graves, even with Immortal Shield Bow, he probably would be dead. Up to a certain point. Like, when Graves gets a lot of items, with also some lifesteal, with then also his passive stacked of his E, he's incredibly tanky, doing a lot of damage, and with a lot of lifesteal. So, but in the early game, yeah, the Udyr in the 1v1 definitely has a little bit of an advantage right now. But the game is going kind of crazy. Like, top lane, for how weak, just reminding people how weak this Silas is, he hasn't got his mythic. He's got components, and he's dealing a crazy amount of damage and healing a dumb amount. Like, if you want Huzzy's top tip of how to climb right now, there is one champion that I'm going to hold on to myself that I'm going to play in the next couple of days. I'm not going to let that one go yet. But Silas, I'd say, is one of the big champions you should be playing right now. And that's not my little secret one. I'm going to keep my secret one for a few more days. Maybe my recording session tomorrow, I'll bring him out. That's a clue. It's a him. But yeah. So, only mythic items, by the way, purchased right now. Silas now is his mythic. Poppy got a Sunfire. Obviously, Graves has had his Gale Force for a while. He obviously sacrificed not going tier 2 boots early. That obviously helped him get Gale Force early. And Akali, who obviously has had a pretty good game so far. Would be interested to see what a couple of the choices were. Like, the Kai'Sa just got Kraken, but reminding, or just, you know, noticing, she had a Dirk before she completed Kraken. That will obviously delay the Kraken. But maybe that would have given her enough AD, raw AD, to get the Q evolution. That's my only, like, why Kai'Sa would do that. Obviously, Turbo Chem Tank, still the thing that Udyr is going to go. He's a running champion. He needs that engage. Obviously, the item was overtuned a little while ago. It has been brought down. It's still fairly strong. And yeah, Rift Herald. So obviously this is the second Rift Herald that Graves could get. The first one, I admit, you know, he shouldn't have got. He stole it with an auto attack. but is going to go for it. And it would be interesting to see where they use this. If I had to guess, it would probably be mid, because they have not cracked mid. And mid is a very important tower to take. It opens up a lot of the map. Like, if you've got this, you can't very easily take this type of area. But with it dead, you can. This opens up. So mid is a very important tower, so I'd expect it to go there. Bot lane, they've been having a little bit of a skirmish. I think Udyr and Silas. Oh, lovely W. Into the E, gets a tower shot with the ulti. Oh. Poppy play, man. Honestly, like, Poppy play, even when I play Poppy, Poppy's a great outplay champion. For what is, in essence, a kind of basic champion, she's got some advanced things that you can do, and, like, some of them are basic. Like, all Poppy did there was time her ability as well, but it looks great. Like, for a more basic champion, I think she's fantastic. Anyway, Galio is making his way to top lane, gets caught out by the Rel. Look at the Gale Force with the Gale! Lovely play by Graves, gets the kill, obviously high damage, obviously, well, has Last Whisper, and yes, again, as I predicted, mid lane is going to be the lane for Rift. That wasn't, if I'm completely honest, a hard prediction to make. Udyr's going to try his best to stop it, but that's it. But at least he stops it potentially getting one charge on the tier 2, which probably was never going to happen. Again, an unescorted Rift Herald. The only time, by the way, 2 level difference, and that is what I've said for many time, neutral objectives. The Udyr literally, it's not, again, look at this. It's not even that much different farm. Neutral objectives, obviously, yes, the kills is giving Graves some XP, but neutral objectives are huge. 2 Rift Heralds is a lot of XP. Like, that's probably, like, in essence, a level or something, just in XP right there. All right, Udyr popped his chem tank, is engaging on a Rel. You know, he has to realize he doesn't do insane damage, and you're fighting a tank. The enemy team are going to be managing to get here if you don't instantly burst. Galio also coming. Akali going on the Udyr, who's already used Flash. He will walk away for the very next day. Galio ulting down, and this is once again a 5v5. Rampage Poppy onto the Lulu. Jinx Rocket. Ulti. Oh, misses due to the Flash, and there should be someone over here. It's the Silas. Rel with the W into the combo with the damage from Akali, and they will take out the enemy team. Now, this is the thing that some people are like, oh, wouldn't it have been better if Graves holded the Rift Herald, and now with the enemy having less? You can't always think like that. Meanwhile, Kai'Sa's going for a 1v1, exhausted the Graves. He's just going for it. He doesn't... He doesn't care. That was a bit of a weird flash. Why did he do that flash? So, in League of Legends, there is such a thing called travel time. An actual bullet in League, or an auto attack, if it's a ranged auto attack, has travel time. If you're really far away from somebody, it will take longer for that auto attack to go off and kill them than if you're on top of them. I can guarantee that Graves literally flashed on Kai'Sa, so his next auto attack instantly killed the Kai'Sa. If he didn't flash, they either would have... I think what likely would have happened, they would have traded. They both would have got an auto attack off, and they both would have died. But the flash saved the Graves' life. So just to realize, if ever you've seen that from especially ranged players, why the hell did a ranged player flash to finish a kill on top of their target? That is, it gives them less chance to counter it, because when the bullet literally has no travel time, it's instant. Meanwhile, the Udyr, props to him, he actually just did the dragon. So the enemy team, and that's an Infernal Dragon because it's the Infernal map, he actually gets his team a cheeky dragon that he should never have got. So that's well played by him, to be honest. With a lot of his team, obviously, at the same time, were dying. At least the Udyr did a nice thing and get a dragon. Because, yeah, I would say the Udyr hasn't had a bad game. It's just been, right now, a little bit of a jungle difference game. Meanwhile, Rel going to try her best to survive. TP, I'm guessing a Galio. Silas is here as well. Akali going to try and make her way out, but with no flash. Look at the damage she can deal, though, in a couple split seconds. But they will go down. And Galio picked himself a little shutdown there. Silas could be in trouble if he can't get away. Galio, though, sacrificing arguably himself, will not go down because Lulu ulti, lovely Poppy ultimate with then the damage, legendary Graves. Jinx is in the area, double kill for the Graves with his ulti, which again is in essence a shotgun snipe, if you kind of wanted to word it that way. And yeah, the Graves is popping off, man. 926, 140 farm, build, Gale Force, second item, Lord Dominic's, which, reminding people, if I'm not mistaken, this item got more expensive because of this build. That has become more and more common for AD carries, which, you know, Graves is technically an AD carry, to just rush Lord Dominic second. It gives a lot of really good stats. And they made it more expensive, but when you're having a fed game, it doesn't matter if it's 100 gold more or whatever it was. To be honest, 100 gold more is it's never a massive nerf, because if you think 100 gold, that's like, what, 4 minions more, if that? 4 minions more, and then a little bit maybe of passive gold. So by the time you kill 4 more minions and base, you have the extra 100 gold. It's not a massive nerf. They're going to go do Baron, though. I don't know if they know that Udyr doesn't have flash, but obviously that is one of the biggest negatives of a champion like Udyr. As a running champion without flash, he can't jump over walls. You know, he has no dash to get over to steal it. He'd either have to rely on the boing, which is gone, it's not there right now, or you'd literally have to try and force himself into the front of the pit, which very rarely works. Alright, so Sylas, I don't know why he's just taking a bit of free damage. He should probably respect the Graves a bit more. Was looking for an engage, actually, on a Graves that is 3 levels above him and is very fed. I personally wouldn't want to take that fight. Alright, so they're going to look to break open the base. They got Baron buff. You need to use it. Look at the damage. High damage on the Udyr. Doing a bit of damage up here with the Akali onto the Sylas. And Jinx is just going to ult and not hit anything, but she will break the tower. Gale Force used, nearly kills the Sylas. Galio getting that taunt off does flash to avoid the rel W. All while this is a 4v5 situation because Poppy is split pushing top. You know you're strong when a Poppy, a non-split push character, can get away with split pushing and you're fine. But yeah. So this Poppy, worth also noting, there is an alternate Poppy build that is quite interesting. Divine Sunder a Poppy. It actually does a lot of damage. Meanwhile, they actually get caught. That's good by the enemy team. They notice that, oh, there's 2 people bot now. Poppy's still top. We can engage. We're outnumbering them. So that's good by them. Graves going to base with his Baron buff. Goes back and buys himself a BF sword, which I imagine this is going to be going into an Infinity Edge. Because, yes, Graves is still pretty good with crit. And, yeah, what's just happened is blue team just based, you know, a little bit 1 by 1. And red team have taken the number advantage. Oh, that E missed! Kali. Oh, she got the Galio with the Ignite. Nearly gets the Udyr too. But yeah, so that's in essence what just happened. She got the Lulu as well, by the way. But yeah, so a little bit of overstay for blue team, a little bit too much separation. And the enemy team, it's a challenger game. They were like, hey, there's people that are alone. We should kill them. Sylas tried to take on the Jinx, who at the time, reminding, was only 1-2-9. And the Sylas, you know, he's had a pretty bad game. 3-9 now. Only 1 pure item complete, which is his mythic. So he's had a poor game. Will still do a lot of damage. Will still be a scary champion in some situations. But yeah, has had a bit of a struggle this game. I don't think that ward is working. That's a bit weird. Udyr up here. Graves kind of shadowing him. Oh, it is giving vision, but not complete vision of the bush. They find the Udyr, get his flash. Again, when you're getting an Udyr flash for basically nothing, you haven't burnt anything, you've not used an ulti, it's a very good situation. Obviously, like we mentioned earlier, Udyr is a running champion that is quite reliant on flash, especially in late game. Dragon's coming up in the next minute or so, less than, and now he doesn't have flash. So it really limits his options that you've burnt his flash. So Poppy, again, she's ridiculously tanky right now. She has to be careful, though. Gets the mine on the Galio. Graves and Akali are not here, by the way, but enemy team is just mispositioning. Teleport coming in. Sylas will go down with a rel ulti stolen. Akali TPing. And yeah, the enemy team is just frankly too far ahead. Blue team is too far ahead. Graves, I'm actually surprised in some ways. And this is where, like, I guess I differ. They're going to probably just go in the game. If I was Graves, I probably would have done the dragon. Like, I probably would, because it's like, oh, if we can't end right now, you know, at least we got the dragon. But a good challenger player, it's all about just ending the game as quick as you can. Don't delay the game. It's very rare in challenger. You'll even see, like, you know, the trolling around the Nexus that people don't end the game. You don't really see that in challenger very often because they know, end the game, finish the game. Graves, though, taking a bit of damage. Galio might be out of position here. Rel jumps on him with then the Jinx damage, who is now unstoppable. And she will just attack the Sylas. He has to be careful and gets executed by the God Tower. That's actually quite bad. Again, that kind of goes against what I said. People don't troll around the Nexus. Well, Jinx just did. And they're going to look probably to end here. Graves, though, worth also noting, he hasn't built any type of lifesteal or majorly. Look at the combo! Poppy and Rel combo. Graves free damage over the top, but now he's actually in trouble. Legendary, And let's be okay. So this is what we sometimes call commentator's curse. That a commentator says something and then the complete opposite happens. So you know when I said that challenger players don't generally troll around the Nexus? What I meant was it's rare. It happened this game. The Jinx kind of trolled. Hey, the Silas went down. That's not too bad. Blue minions coming up here. And this is my point. That just happened. The game arguably should have been over. There's a tiny chance that Udyr's like, I'm going to go do dragon. And then you lose the dragon. The lucky thing is Akali is patrolling the area. I don't 100% know if Akali could actually take this Udyr. Just how the champions are. Again, Udyr is still here, so he's not doing it. But I actually don't know if she could. Maybe? I'm not sure. So she's just kind of, again, positioning what the Akali's doing. She's in this area of the dragon to basically say no. If someone came to come do it, she's not going to, like, probably full engage on them. It's more of a presence going, I'm around. You can't do it. I'm sorry. To give her team time. Now, what I'm very surprised at is blue team, and this is weirding me out, isn't doing the dragon. Why? Go do the dragon. It's free right now. They're getting pushed in by minions. You've respawned. Why wouldn't you be doing it? Udyr's in the area. To me, this is a no-brainer to do the dragon. Graves, though, he might be thinking about Baron more. And Jinx now is doing it. But I don't know. See, that's something that, you know, these players are clearly better than me. I'm not going to ever say that I'm, you know, in any way better. Oh, he smites it, gets it. They are definitely better than me. So there must be a reason that the Graves was like, I don't need to go over there. The Jinx can go do it, I guess. Graves potentially finding a Silas. Will Silas even try to... Whoa, that crit damage. I was going to say, is Silas going to try and fight? No. He's not. He has to actually be careful here. Again, he's had a bad game. He's... I don't know. He might be a bit tilted. Like, he tried to base, you know, as like a little... Would you call it a troll thing? I don't know. I'd probably call it a tilt thing. And they're just making their way in. Obviously, the minions earlier, weak in the tower. Poppy can tank it. And now, with all what they have, the momentum and all that, enemy team can't really do much. Rel has used her ulti. I'd say the one thing with Rel, her ulti is a little bit lackluster, personally. Graves will get a double kill, which I don't even know how he got the first one. Red buff maybe, and that will be the game. So this was Graves versus Udyr, and this was a very dominant performance for Graves. So it does show that Graves is really good. His damage, as you saw this game, was very high, and he can use this build that a lot of people have been doing, the Lord Dominic's second. It is crazy good damage, especially, like, obviously, the Lord Dominic's deals bonus damage against champions with greater max health than you, so pretty much most of the enemy team that he's going to be looking for, the Udyr, the Galio, probably the Silas, they're all going to have more health than him. If you're against another squishy jungler, like Graves against a squishy health jungler, maybe that's not the build to go, because they may have less health than you, and then you don't get the bonus damage. It makes the item less gold efficient. But overall, pretty good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. That was Graves. If you did enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.